Alrighty, hello folks, and good morning. So welcome to a guide that I swear I've done before for One Vision, but I was told recently that it couldn't be found, and for the life of me I couldn't remember what it was called either, so let's go ahead and just kind of get into this here. So, let's say you want to get a early Necromancer in the One Vision overhaul. How the hell do you do that? Well, let's say, in this particular case, we wanted to turn Donalto into a Necromancer. He wants to go for his optimal kind of a blasphemer setup there, so let's give this a bit of a shot. So, when you pick up Sarah, you'll end up noticing that she came in with a rogue. Additionally, you probably noticed that when the Crisaro fight ended, you got access to the Banish Arcana, which nobody can really use outside of the Astromancer, who you won't have for quite a while. So, what you want to do is you take Sarah and you throw her into 2 fights. Now, technically, yes, there are tricky ways that you could potentially get her up to the required level to pick up the Steel skill right from the get-go from 1 fight, but then you won't have enough points to make this happen. So what you want to do is put her through 2 fights to get her 182 points to get her that Steel skill, and then we'll go ahead and drop that onto here. Now, depending on how you want to load her up, there's a few different ways that you could potentially handle this fight, but we're going to try to do this the kind of slow and steady way here. So, try to load up for as much resistance and stuff like that as possible. So something like Slops and a Circlet, going to do pretty okay in her case, but we're going to go for the slow and steady approach. So what we want is we're going to want actually a few different spells here. So we're going to go ahead and go to the shop here real quick, and we're going to go ahead and buy a little bit more support. So we want Solidify, and then we're also going to want to buy a few items here. So we're going to want to buy a few more Mend Leaves, because we're going to want to have a lot of heals on hand. We're going to want to pick up some Antidote, so that's going to be down over here, and we're going to want at least like 5 of them. And additionally, we're going to want to pick up some Crystallized Flames. Now, these are going to be too expensive to use constantly on everyone, but they're just something we want to have on hand. And additionally, we're going to want to... What else do we want to do here? I'm thinking we probably want to go ahead and pick up a... no, we don't really need... we already have weapons to inflict breach. Feeble Mind might be worth doing. Anyways, whatever. You pick up a few buff items is basically what you want to go for here. So, we'll also go ahead and pick up 1 Ariane Plume, and we'll go ahead and go into Kadriga Fortress. Now, this is the kind of low-level approach to doing this whole thing. I would really recommend, if you're new to this and you just want access to the class, go grind up a little bit, come back here at the end of Chapter 1. This is like the earliest realistic point that you can get it done. Mostly because something like the Knight's Aegis skill is going to completely break this fight in half. Like, just having that access to the constant regeneration and stuff like that is... They've got nothing to really counter that. But what we want is just as much vitality and resistance on our units as possible. Now, the Slops here are going to help out for this kind of setup on Voltaire, going for the Morningstar, Buckler, Bronze Helm, Linen Slops, and War Ring. Linen Slops for the resistance, Bronze Helm for the resistance, Buckler for a bit more avoidance and just general defense, and then the Morningstar because we're going to be combining that together with the Fencer's Fated Circle over here in order to guarantee a few stuns. We want to stun a lot of units, and we want to control the area as much as possible. So I have him running Earth Magic at this point, and then I also have Denim running... oh, sorry. That was a weird... whatever that was. I have him running Wind and Divine. So Divine will do a bit of extra damage versus these undead units, and then Wind will also give you a chance to dodge. So we'll be making use of those as we carry along. Additionally, it helps to have a little bit more defense on Cashroy here, so if you want to give her that vest, that would help out. And additionally, if you want to give her a bit more accuracy and hitting stats with a Circlet, you can. But the Linen Slops are going to do that job just fine. Alright, additionally we also probably want to swap her out for a Book and Shield. She can actually go Hammer and Shield as well, so I think that's what we're going to do here. Give her a bit more defense overall. I've got Mr. Brand, the warrior, over here going for heavy armor, heavy axe, and a war ring. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going one-handed axe here. In fact, I probably will switch him out to that right now, just because there's going to be a lot coming your way, and hard defense slash vitality will carry you a lot through this fight. Additionally, we're going to swap out for a bit more resistance here. Just go for mail and helm on him. For our archer, that's fine as they are. For our wizard guy, I'm thinking we'd probably just go knife on him, maybe. Actually, maybe we just go book. I think we're going to go book and buckler on him. Again, focusing on resistance as much as possible. He's not even in this fight. I don't know why I'm setting him up right now. For our cleric, go ahead and have your vest. For our spellblade, we already discussed him. Canopus, did I ever pick up a better knife for you? Apparently I didn't. That's dumb on my part, to be fair. Okay, now, here's the thing. For this fight in particular, he's going to be doing a lot of carrying, so I'm actually going to switch him over to Axe temporarily for this one, because he's going to he's going to be up to a lot, and ideally we're going to see if we can swap out his armor for something a bit more resilient here. Probably something like that. Okay, so being a bit of a regeneration tank, Canopus is, combined with a defender ring, he's going to do a lot better as far as kind of damaging and outlasting stuff. Ideally, it's hard to say what's really going to be better, because something like a shank can potentially really mess up movement, but most of the units on this map are going to be long-range units set up to attack from a lot of distances. Something like a hand axe will give you the breach, something like a buckler will give you a bit more defense, so this is probably going to be a bit more ideal for what I'm thinking right here, but again, stacking for resistance as much as possible. Here, we'll actually switch Donaldo over to Hammer in this particular case to go for something like that. We probably can just go completely no weapon on him, but I want to roll for those stun chances. And there we go. So you want to, again, be focusing on a very defensive setup if you're doing this as a first-time thing. You need Sarah to make this happen, and between all of your other ones, Canopus is all but necessary here. Having something like a fencer to be able to throw out some fortifies or resiliences or something like that would be very handy here. I'm going to swap him out temporarily for a second cleric so that we have 3 healers on the team, and then we're going to have 2 archers. That will become relevant in a moment, but there's multiple targets that we want to deal with on this map. Now, due to the amount of things on this map, it's difficult to figure out which targets are which, so we're going to go for the slow and steady approach. Alright, so they're going to go ahead and have their conversation, we're going to tell him no, and we're going to start discussing the tech of what we're trying to do here. So, Nith carries a class mark for the Necromancer class, so if the first time that we steal from him, we're pretty much always going to get it. I believe that one is guaranteed. As in, like, as long as you roll the 41 chance to steal there. Additionally, 2 of the units, I believe it's this ghost and one of the skeletons or something, will also carry 2 different necromancy spells. That being said, everybody's constantly moving around, so you're not necessarily going to really know which one's which. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to set up a bit of resilience here. So Canopus is going to go in this direction. He's going to get resilient going. And again, if you have extra points on your units, I would definitely recommend a fencer with the ice resilience on there. Would really help a lot. Bear in mind, you're also occasionally dealing with rain in this particular situation, so having access to trajectory will also help a lot. Obviously, in her case, I didn't use it properly, but you get the idea. Additionally, if you're going and running all of your casters and whatever else, you don't necessarily need to be running books, but it does help to make sure that they have MP ahead of time. Spellcraft is probably going to be a bit more useful in most situations, but again, we're trying to run a bit more defensive here. So our first order of business is to make sure that we can claim as much territory as possible. Because even though our party is objectively far weaker than theirs, we can potentially overwhelm them just by sheer aggression. So that's what we're going to try and do. Now, as you may notice, the archers that they have will be performing a lot worse than many of their other units. So we can try and make sure that he ends up spawning most of his team as archers. That also would help us determine which units we actually want to be fighting along the lines as well. And additionally, as far as our own units, the reason that I went for multiple ranged units is because we're more or less trying to outdo the thing that they're doing on their side. Namely, they've got a lot of ranged attacks going, we want to have a lot of ranged attacks going. It's just a nice thing to have on hand. Additionally, if you need to present a target, you also have 2 units that are basically disposable here in the form of Kashua and Vice, and I'm also going to be just healing the completely wrong direction with Kashua there, whoops. Helps to actually pay attention to what you're doing, idiot, which thankfully, due to the hand is still on the piece trick in PSP, we can just do that without it counting as a chariot usage, because it was still our same turn. Actually, I'm still a little bit surprised that got taken out in Reborn, but it is technically kind of cheesy. Like, I'm pretty sure it wasn't intended, but, like, you know, it seems weird to be like, yeah, no, there's suddenly a no chariot title, or the no chariot titles are taken out, but also, you know, we're gonna make sure that to take out the whole mulligan rule. Actually, I'm pretty sure it wasn't taken out as much as just kind of just seen a different way over time, but I don't know. I always like that just as a chess reference there. Anyway, so again, back to the sheer aggression part of this plan. So the thing is, they have so many units that are going to be firing from so many different directions, so you want to make sure to have more than one plan on hand. Inevitably, somebody will get sniped down and shot before their time unexpectedly. So expect that to happen. Expect that you're going to be running into those situations where you're not getting into the fight with your ideal units. This is functionally zombie D-Day, so that's kind of how you should see it here. So Canopus is basically going to be pulling the hard carry here. He gets Wapongo wins right before this fight, and it just allows him to regeneration tank his way through. So we're going to want to do this a little bit slow and steady here. So we're going to try and separate their units out as much as possible. We're going to try to keep them on opposite sides. We're going to try to focus them down wherever possible. I apparently decided to take Trajectory off of her because, again, let's reiterate that I am an idiot. Anyway, Trajectory is very handy here, especially Tremendous Shot is also very handy. So what you want to do is just focus them down one at a time. You know, you do your punches, you do your pushes, and then you take your lucky crits and be very thankful for them. And then he'll end up spawning more units in the back. Now, the cool thing is that you can actually make sure that you're killing these guys fast enough to the point that if you're getting 1 or 2 down per round, you can potentially create a sort of a choke area where they're constantly out of MP, because he constantly has to bring in more units, which means that he's never actually making any progress in terms of getting his people around to actually take their shots. So if he spawns a wizard, for example, they are completely useless on their first round. They're just going to run up and try to hit something with a stick. Conveniently, if there happens to be, oh, I don't know, a Canopus with an axe and a counterattack right nearby, they're going to get themselves counterattacked with an axe, meaning that they're going to get their defense breached, meaning that the archers can come in and do their pew-pews. So that is a pretty good combination overall. In order to get to that point, you want to break past these frontliners here. So we're going to try to push forward as much as we can. If you have Kashua in your team, because you're kind of required to. One important thing to note is that she's got last rites on her, which means that she can potentially get rid of them as a action move. So that can be really handy for saving time. This party is running a little bit heavy, so that's why we're going to be running a little bit slow. If you get into a point like right here, where you have one unit getting constantly peppered down over and over, there's absolutely no shame in just retreating them the hell out of there, and then having them use some item heals. This is going to happen quite a bit. So just deal with these units as much as you can. Bear in mind, again, our goal is to get our our backline rogue over here to go deal with Nibith by going and stealing from him on the stairs. We can rush in to make that happen, but with this team, that's just going to be a little bit of a disastrous thing, so we'll get there when we get there. Again, remember that if you have any casters that have light magic-type stuff, they will do extra versus the undead here, meaning that Sun Spear is going to absolutely kick ass whenever you're going and trying to carve through that front line. Unfortunately, I was about to say that looks like that was going to be the end of Archer, and that's really bad timing on Nibith. We've got 3 exorcisms on the team, and unfortunately that was just really bad timing. It'll happen sometimes. He's quite the presence on this particular map, so that will definitely happen. Anyway, So we want to try to regain a little bit ground here. Again, it can be a little bit frustrating at first when you run into those situations. When it feels like everything's just going against you, but those are the times they need to just kind of take a bit of a second and just relax, because Canopus is always on the move, looking to go axe some ghosts. Bear in mind that if you are running Canopus here with something lighter, like a dagger, he will actually do comparable damage with a dagger compared with something like an axe. The axe just basically guarantees that it'll be a two-shot, the dagger not so much. Anyway, with Vice not really providing too much particular value here, he's going to go ahead and heal up Voltaire. And once we have those first zombies dealt with, we'll start moving forward and make a bit more progress in a forwardly type direction. Voltaire gets himself axed, as you do. Alright. Now then. What the hell is that noise? Sorry, there's just some weird noise in the background. But I think that's somebody's lawnmower like 2 houses away acting up. I'm not sure if you can hear that at all. Anyway, so what we want to keep doing here is just keep pushing forward. Just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Just keep firing, keep walking, keep dealing with these units. Anybody that's too damaged, you pull them back out of the fight, and use everybody else as a bit of a wall to make sure that those weak units are able to retreat and recover. Try to cycle people out if it gets a little bit too intense, and if you're seeing that one unit gets completely ignored the entire time, it's probably worth considering bringing them in with some lighter armor here. Ideally, you would come in with a fencer in order to make use of Faded Circle, which I did take them out this time around. I really probably shouldn't have. That Faded Circle really would be carrying right now. But anyway, so we're just going to keep on popping in with those heals. Looks like we've got one necessary heal up here. Voltaire's not really going to last himself much longer. Poison is definitely a bit of a threat at all situations, so really want to keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and get Sarah back up on her feet next, and then we'll start worrying about our generic archer back there, whose name I can't remember, and I probably should, because they've actually been a really good archer. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Anyway, more pew-pews from U's. If we high roll that, we might be able to get the guy, but I'm not sure that's the best idea. Well, whatever, we'll go for it. Go ahead and go for the high roll, and end up accidentally shooting Donalto instead. Anyway, let's go ahead and probably just go for a Grace instead there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and Grace these ones, so that they do a little bit more dodging, because with that breach, it'll be a problem. We can move Denim up one tile so that he would be able to make that shot he was trying to make, because he's homing in on Donalto for absolute reasons. But unfortunately, the dodge just seems like it would provide a bit better value in this particular instance. Not to mention, he can't even high roll for a kill, so there's not really a whole lot of point. Anyway, we'll move Sarah back here, just try to keep them out of the fight as much as possible to try to make sure that they don't get knocked out. And again, as soon as we can start getting our foothold here with some exorcisms, we can start making some real progress. Yeah, Voltaire is really getting himself slapped something fierce here, which is a bit of a problem. But again, it'll happen. Just gotta keep on trucking on as you do, So just so you know, if you can get Vitality high enough at this point, there are situations where you can become near immune to a lot of his attacks. But either way, this actually ends up working out fairly well. We did lose our knight, but this is fine. We can go ahead and get this wizard getting worked on. These wizards, I believe, are the ones that end up dropping these spells. We're going to figure that out in just a moment. So if you can get them taken out, rob them of their goodies, then you can make sure to actually have said goodies and, get what you actually came here for. It's definitely a bit of a challenge to do this on your first first encounter with this fight. It's definitely recommended to come back here later. For obvious reasons. You're pretty reasonably outclassed at this point in terms of raw numbers. Again, we're trying to pull it through trickiness, but it can be very difficult, and it can definitely be frustrating to see multiple units get taken out in one round just because you didn't really have the defenses yet to actually take those hits. You're only slightly getting into actually having heavy armor access by this point in the game, so it can be a little bit of a thing. Anyway, let's go ahead and get that guy taken out, get him deleted, get a card apparently. Who needs a heal? probably Vice is going to be running off on his own for a little bit, so we'll go ahead and top him off real quick. Would be a bit of a shame to waste a Strength Guard over there, so we'll go ahead and use that on somebody in a moment. Yeah, Donaldo, sure, he's going to be a Necromancer, but of course, let's go ahead and use that on him. Heal up our Cleric. Kind of keep our lanes here mostly secured. If that Fencer decides to run down the front, the Valkyrie, I mean, if she decides to run down the front and go confront Denim or something, that's actually pretty... It's pretty helpful as long as that, I mean, that can't crit anyway. I keep forgetting I'm not playing Reborn right now. Like, please don't crit with a spell. Wait a minute. That's not a thing right now. Okay, so, let's see. We've got our soldier guy ready to go. He's got some archers that he might be a bit more vulnerable to over there. I'm thinking we just kind of circle in over here. He's going to be somewhat vulnerable, but hopefully he can, there we go, get a little bit of a breach going right there. He's just kind of dicking off the armor, but as long as he's got that breach on there, it might be helping us out in the long run. I'm thinking I'd like to see that guy thrown off a wall, but again, we'll see what we can do there. All right. Next order of business, we need to work on you. So pop. Longbows and crossbows, really good against fencers at this stage. They're not running around with a lot of their heavier armor options generally, so it gives us a bit more play here. Canopus will continue being able to tank most of that stuff there as long as you make sure that he doesn't get ganked. So taking out that wizard should be possible. Those decays are always a bit scary though, because like decay is pretty much purpose-built for screwing you over here. Man, again with that bringing that dude back. Yeah, Nibith, why you so good? Okay. So next up, let's see about popping you a little bit. I keep like questioning in the back of my head there whether or not we're actually going to see steel being a requirement for these books or not. But we'll see. I probably should have looked this up beforehand, but hey, I got like a few minutes here to get this done right now, so we'll give it a shot, see what we do. Sarah gets popped, and we can see about getting this one taken care of, because you kind of deleted my other target, you douche. So, get this guy taken out, get some Huapongo, and now this actually might be a good position. Because we've got Mr. Wizardman all the frickin' way up there. We've additionally got one unit on maximum, ridiculously slow countdown over there, so I'm not too worried about any bad things happening to him. So we'll go ahead and get our Exorcism going, get that one taken out. We'll make a little bit of a push right here. One more Sun Spear is not quite enough, dang it. That would have been really nice if it was. Let's go ahead and go for something like this. Get her mostly taken out. Hopefully some random counter will take care of her in a bit. Yeah, let's go ahead and move you over here to go secure this bag, and he's going to start working on Mr. Dude Guy over here. So, first things first, we're going to go ahead and put Resilience on him as well, because he's going to be potentially in the line of fire here pretty soon. But in his particular case, he's really stacked for, not Vitality, but just kind of defense in general. I'm hoping he won't be as threatened. Well, let's see what we got here. There we go, we got the Rebuild Arcana. Will you learn it? No. Not on a temporary character, what are you talking about? Okay, Cleanse, I'm thinking, is probably going to be a bit more value here. Unfortunately, as you can see here, we're in a bit of a tough spot because we do have a heal coming up, but at the same time, like, if we heal, the other one potentially dies. If we don't cleanse, the other one potentially dies. Like, yeah, poison is scary at this stage. I mean, everything about decay is pretty nutty. We're going to try to block off that area. Please don't high roll. There we go. He survives with 1 health. He might just be able to pull this out here. Alright, okay, that works. Perfect. They actually spawned in with a better bow. That's actually not so good. Anyway, let's see. Let's go ahead and get that heal going. Get the heal on you. And this is when we want to start presenting Vice and Cashua as tempting targets. Because we're starting to run a little bit low on health on everybody else. They're still doing pretty okay. So we want to see about having them tank for the rest of the team, because there's no real long-term issues from them getting taken out here. Okay. So, he's still affected by weakens, so his next order of business should just be to heal this cleric, and then start blocking off that skeleton on the right side. See, they're an archer. If we can make sure that they're nearby the wall and potentially throw them off, then that gives us a lot more to potentially work with. Unfortunately, there's no... Actually, no, there's no water tiles, so it would have to be over in that direction. I mean, it still would render them functionally worthless in this situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you throw a unit that can't swim into the water, it'll just refuse to move. So they'll basically just gain steadfast for that particular turn, because they can't go into an invalid tile. Anyway, there's both of those guys weakened. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he didn't go for the reinforcements there. Usually he likes to do that in that situation. But I guess we'll figure that out. Anyway, let's go ahead and pop that guy. There we are. That's half his health gone. I'm hoping the longbow will be able to take care of the rest. Canopus shouldn't be too threatened by that poison, because he's just going to heal out of it. Unfortunately, yeah, never mind. That guy's becoming a problem now. Okay, we're going to want to retreat a little bit. So, what do? Let's go ahead and get a little bit of anti-poison going. This is why we brought them along. And he's going to go up to the corner, and he's going to do his thing, where he just sort of, you know, evasion tanks, as you do. Or regen tanks, I should say. So let's go ahead and get him over here. Vice is going to continue blocking the stairs, and as long as we can block those tiles up there and keep Nibith out of the fight, we are way, way safer for it. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, get our soldier guy there back up on his feet. Perfect. Denim, you want to snipe somebody, or, like, what's the deal there? Alright, let's go over here. I don't have him running any augments, so I'm just going to stick with the Sun Spear bonus for the time being. Go ahead and get that one taken out. And by the way, I think I mentioned this earlier, but as long as you have them downed, you don't have to worry about him summoning additional reinforcements if that's what you're trying to manipulate here. So, like, if you specifically want to make sure that he's not calling in additional help, then just, yeah, make sure that they're downed. I'm going to move him over here. Hopefully he can react to if Nibith decides to go in either direction. I'm hoping we're fine, but, you know, weirder things have happened. We've got cash row coming up, so I'm not going to worry about exercising as a primary action here, but we are going to go ahead and get Brenna back up on her feet a little bit. And there we are, and he's just going to sit still where he is. I probably should have stuck to fists or something like that instead of hammers on my clerics. It does slow them down quite a bit to run around with those hammers, but, you know, you can't not have hammers. Like, even if we're never going to use them, it's just too cool to not use hammers. Anyway, so let's go ahead and do last rites here. Get that one done, because in this case we do want him to be using his reinforcements. And additionally, we need a little bit more healing on Denim. So let's go ahead and pop that on him, and we're feeling a little bit sparse on our bars, but little by little. Now, I'm hoping, if this gets him in the corner, I'm hoping that he can't actually hop up here. Can he? He can. That's problematic. Alright, well, the hope is that he'll just decide to go for the top there. Ideally, we want to try... Like, if I try to chase him up here, then he just goes this way, and then he just continues being a problem. If we do something like this, I guess... we might be able to keep him down there, and might be able to throw him off the wall entirely. We'll see. We'll see. I'm actually a little bit surprised that he's shooting at Vice and not doing something different there. That's an odd one. Oh well. Not really our concern. So, let's go ahead and see if you can land this shot on this ghost. Pretty decent odds. Surprised he didn't dodge. That's usually when RNG steps in. It's like, guess what would be hilarious right now? 2% dodge, bitch! But anyway, let's go ahead and see about making use of the crossbow range over here to take this guy out. Is he going to have the range to shoot back? If this high rolls, we don't even have to worry about it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. Because I still need her for later on in the fight. Because we're going to try to just completely get rid of his reinforcements. Again, this is the slow and steady approach. This is not the, like, rushing in there and getting it. For a new player, if you're just looking to have a Necromancer because, hey, look, you know, cool crossbow guy, all I would recommend doing is just rushing her in, trapping him on these stairs right here, and then just stealing from right here, because steal doesn't check for elevation. So, yeah, you can just kind of cheese it out that way. I'm going to go ahead and heal up casually here and start taking the stairs a little bit. Let's say probably go over here. Probably going to let Voltaire go ahead and take an injury. I don't expect him to take an injury for a very long time after this, so I'm pretty sure that's fine. That's just going to bait a weaken. Let's not. Here, let's go ahead and take these steps over here. The hope being that maybe, just maybe, we can maybe just surround him and start working on doing some damage. Okay, you need to exercise, though. That time's definitely happening now. We'll see, as soon as we get 2 spell books, then we can get out of here. So, go and collect this on you right here, because that's the least, or the most threatened bag right now. There we go, that's just some Melchosses. Fine, fine. Alright, can we get the stun on you? No stun, but he did get the knockback, so I'll take it. Next up, versus this archer, I would like to see a Sun Spear happening, please. Please take it out, so that we can claim this entire bottom area. This kind of feels like those moments in XCOM 2 where you just cleared one of the 2 rebel base type areas and everyone just starts running forward. If you've never played XCOM 2, like, they have these bits where you just, like, some of your bases are attacked, and one of the variants of it, you're defending a bunch of rando NPCs, and just as soon as you suddenly clear out one half of the map, they just start running ahead like frickin' lemmings. It's a little bit funny looking. Anyway, okay, that kind of sucked, but alright. Is he calling for reinforcements? No, he's still attacking. That is weird. This is way more aggressive than he usually is. Usually likes to play it safe. This is a whole new side of this guy that we never see. Okay. So he's smelling blood in the water. He's apparently ignoring his army getting deleted. I mean, granted, it's probably more efficient for him to play this way, because he can just spawn in like 5-6 dudes at the same time. So yeah. There's that, too. Anyway, let's see. Let's go ahead and take a shooty shoot against this dude. Man, that is just completely bouncing off their armor. Anyway, yeah, she's just doing basic crossbow. I'm assuming he, like, what's he running? Like, full Vit and heavy shield or something? Yeah, pretty much full Vit and heavy shield. That's his whole shtick. Alright, we're gonna get the stun here, because I'd like to see this dude getting stunned, and we need to work on actually stealing this thing. So there we go. Punch. Get you stunned. Start pushing him in the other direction. Yeah, I'm just gonna let Voltaire take his injury here. You start moving this way. Because I kind of want to see about baiting out a weaken if he's going to still... Or not a weaken, but a decay if he's going to still keep being aggressive here. Since we're kind of all over the place, we have our 2 units bumped up here. Or lumped up? Bumped up? Whatever. My brain, no work so good today. I might be a little bit tired. Have not slept properly in days, because it's been a bit of a busy one. And, unfortunately, drank too much coffee to actually go take a nap. So, we're doing this thing where we're doing a quick guide and then taking a nap. So it's definitely worth doing. Okay. So, is this going to be our second book? No, that's going to be Copper Obrith. Dandy dandy. Okay. In that case, go ahead and slapify Mr. Dude the Man over here. See if I can get that breach on there. Beautiful. Do a bit more regeneration. Yeah, Canopus, I think One Vision Canopus is probably my favorite Canopus. Like, as much as I love the whole, like, Dragoon Canopus situation that you can pull off in Reborn, like, the whole regen tank thing somehow just feels so appropriate. He's just literally just playing like he did back in March of the Black Queen. He's like wandering around like doop doop doop, just regenerating health, dodging fights. As you do. It's just nice. Okay. Do the Sun Spear. Pop. Alright, there we go. He's a little bit worse for wear. I mean, he's brought in a lot of very high quality armor for this situation. Alright. Yes, Voltaire, it's fine, just go get your freaking, like, whiny ass back to base. Get some summons. How many is he gonna bring in? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nice. Or no, 5. Okay, he brought in 5 ghosts. That's just kind of rude, but whatever. Now, I want to say the second one that dropped a book was one of the skeletons or something, so we're gonna just keep on killing a few more if we can. But we might have to just accept good enough and just go get the Necromancer mark and call it good. Because, yeah, at a certain point, like, you just kind of got to accept that, the tide is coming in and it's time to frickin' move. Now, that said, you can run him out of his resources, but it's a little bit of a thing to do that. A bit of a challenge. Not that a challenge is bad, but, you know, if we're doing a first-timer party like this, we're probably not necessarily pulling it off if we have to last too much longer here. Again, we're sustaining, but we're only kind of sustaining, you know? Alright. We got our heals, we got our everything. Who needs a bit of a top-off right now? Looking like Canopus is probably going to be able to keep on functioning. Vice is getting a little close. He's one crit away from bitching out of the fight, so let's go ahead and top him off so that he keeps on being helpful. Unfortunately, all of these dudes ended up spawning right in the way of this unit that I need to have doing her job. So, let's see. That might crit. It did. It did actually crit. Nice. Alright, well, it wasn't enough to actually get the job done, but still, it's something. Also, just in case, we're going to have her go ahead and attempt a steal here. So all we gotta do is get her vaguely close to Nebeth. Bear in mind that steal is actually pretty darn helpful in One Vision, in that it can potentially keep you stocked up with healing items. Now, granted, yes, it technically could do that in PSP as well. However, the healing items actually scale in this one, so you know it's a bit more useful. Is the thing here. Alright, try to re-up that stun. No, but he just keeps on critting. Like, dude does not care. I should also probably mention, if you have any units with Bash, that's why Vice keeps knocking backwards here. If you have any units with Bash, that's going to be really, really helpful here. So, that's why he keeps getting away with that. Go for some breaches. I'm hoping that one breach plus one longbow shot will be enough to deal with these ghosts. Their first round is going to be more or less free. That they're just going to go take some basic attacks, and that'll be about that. You're going to go here and try to take out the skeleton. I believe the skeleton and the soldier are two of the last remaining holdouts from the original party. So as long as we exercise them, that should give us everything that we need. But anyway, let's see about using a Mint Leaf on you. Get our longbow back into play, because your arrows are just going to plink off Captain Ultimate Hardness over there. Yeah, that soldier is one tough cookie. Again, one of those things I just really like about OV. The sudden high armor units and finding ways to get around that and all of that kind of thing. Alright. Anyway, yeah, our own soldier guy is getting thoroughly annihilated. They're already on their second round, aren't they? Because, how are they shooting already? That's a problem. Well, anyway, now that everybody's taken absolutely devastating amounts of damage, dodge, please. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. And, yeah, we need to get our rogue moving into position, because she's having a... Oh, boy. She's in danger! I'm in danger! Right. He's technically over there. Thank you, perspective. Alright, let's see. You're there, you're there. Is there anyone that you can kill? I don't know. But, if you want to go ahead and do that... Let's see. What do we got that we can inflict this guy with? Spell slip, kind of. I mean, making him miss sometimes wouldn't hurt. Do a little bit of the old missaroo here, and as long as we make him move somewhere, he'll probably want to go move towards our rogue over there. So this is another little AI manipulation trick that you can do. If you're in a position that you really, really need to have a unit go in a particular way, you can't necessarily dedicate anyone to like shoving them in that direction. You block their way a little bit. They're definitely going to want to move somewhere. So what you do is block their way and just make that the only direction that they can possibly go. So it isn't going to be a perfect, answer to everything all the time, but it is going to make that a lot more likely to happen. So anyway, let's go ahead and use heal on you, and then is Canopus moving soon? He is. So if we block off this direction by moving her over here, let's see. You've got your Mighty Strike ready to go. Hopefully you can kill something. So, if we move you here, this actually might put our archer at risk. That's only a 45. That's not going to be enough. That dude is just tough as all get out. Like, we need proper heavy weapons to deal with him. We'll go ahead and take out that ghost right there. It gives us a little bit more breathing room. See about... Man, even heal dropping he's resistant to. Get our soldier kind of stacked up a little bit there. We're again making our way forward here. I don't know how many units Nith can potentially summon in this situation. I want to say he's got like 15 backup units or something. It was something reasonably up there, but you know, we'll again play it by ear. Do we need any top-offs? Not necessary. You know, he's just going to top off himself. And then there we go. This should cause Nith to go towards where Sarah is, and then we have Sarah move towards where he is, and then they, I would say kiss, but it's more like she gropes his pants and he drops his Necromancer mark, and that's what we need. So, yeah, and there's just nothing wrong that could possibly be misconstrued from that whatsoever, and let's move right along here. Okay, so, pew pew, pew pew. Yeah, crossbow Sarah is pretty darn good. Very weak defensively, but crossbow rogues are just really good at sniping. Alright. That said, though, we can take this ghost out, hopefully. That gives us a bit more breathing room. They did bring the one guy back, which is problematic, but either way, there we go. One of them's right back down again. Is it even safe to bring our archer into play here? Maybe not. I think we just probably take a basic shot and walk away, and... He's like, yeah, excuse me while I throw this rock harder than your longbow can hurt me. This guy. Like, this guy's the frickin' nemesis over here, or Mr. X, or whatever. Like, just nothing's touching this guy. It's weird. Okay, the whole Resident Evil comparison thing is weird, because back, kind of back in the day, it was like, oh, you know, the thing's nemesis after the original RE3. Like, oh, it's just this unkillable monster. And then after RE3 Remake, and him just basically being turned into dying from one-hand grenade jello, it's weird that now suddenly Mr. X is the scary one. Anyway. I mean, granted, he kind of looks cooler, I guess. He brought a hat and everything. Alright. So what do we do here? What are we thinking like doing? I'm feeling like we probably exercised everything that we needed to exercise. I'm just going to try to keep pressuring him on that way to get him a little bit closer to Sarah. This ghost needs to be taken out to some degree, so we'll just go ahead and work on that. I'm not too worried about the skeletons, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be dropping anything. So we'll go ahead and take him out, continue on with the regeneration. Yeah, I'm wasting a lot of TP to keep him regenerating, but it seems to be like what we want to do right now. Heal-wise, we've got Casual coming up to take care of business with that ghost. So let's go ahead and throw a heal back there. I'll go ahead and throw you over here to prevent that ghost from moving, just in case they've got any kind of physical stuff to them. Go ahead and last rites this guy out of existence. We'll see if anything comes from that. I guess not. Get a magician card, because no one else is really going to realistically have the time to go get it. Probably top off Sarah, just to be safe. I'm thinking maybe I'm completely misremembering something as far as where that other one is located, because we've taken out a lot of these guys and I'm not seeing anything else. Maybe Rakes will pop by and let me know that I missed something incredibly obvious, or we can just go check the drop table, which is kind of right over there. I would recommend doing it. I'm just feeling lazy and tired today, but we'll go ahead and at least finish off this this guide that I thought I had done already and apparently didn't, and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, I would recommend making this way easier by just coming back here at the end of Chapter 1. There's really no reason to be coming in here this early. As Lenar mentions, he's not going anywhere, so why bother? It's just kind of a weird, chaotic challenge to come here at this point. I just kind of do it because I can. It's not even... And that sounds like it's meant to be like a flex or something. It isn't. It's just, it's right there. It's right there, and I feel like going to it. That's really all it comes down to. Anyway, and I'm almost thinking like we gotta at least take out that soldier guy just to let him know that he's not gonna live rent-free in our brain for forever. That, you know, unkillable soldier isn't real. He can't hurt us. All right, there we go. We got our Necromancer mark, as you do. We go ahead and pop Nith a little bit. Although, if we can get a shot on that ghost, that'd be pretty snazzy. There we go. Hello, Mr. Ghost. How would you like to get... Well, that just makes me sad. Anyway, what about you? You want to take a shot? There's, like, no shot that's landing. Oh, that's landing. No, neat. Neat. Okay. They take some pain sides, and the pain side is the everywhere. Shock lance, but he survives it. For now, anyway. A few more quick little boops and bops on this guy, and we should be all good to go. I'm thinking maybe he's got a bit more stealables. I mean, we've got him in the Minecraft hole right now, so maybe that'll be fine. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. We have our soldier, unfortunately, getting taken out by his stagger there. That'll happen sometimes. Keep Cashwood topped off a little bit. Keep those clerics running like a motor. As he do. He's got his sidestep. He's fine. We've got almost no chance to actually scratch him here. Get the shocklands. All right. Just do that, I guess. More of the old healing type of business. Alright, and then we have Canopus fly in over, probably over here. See about dropping that breach. There we go. He's doing really good with his debuffs today. He's doing a good job. Alright, do we Sun Spear? I'm thinking we kind of Sun Spear. Like, it's close. It's enough. Granted, a longbow would probably take him out a lot more effectively than that. Ghosts are a bit more resistant to all of this stuff, but I feel like we've more or less won this at this point. So, just kind of trying to shoot at the ghost in case something interesting falls out. Just a little pinata guy. Alright, do more Sun Spear. Pop. And then he kind of falls into a puddle of goop. And unfortunately, then immediately gets animate deaded, and oh hey, look who finally remembered his skill exists, but he can't use it. Thankfully, I think it's because it's running off some kind of high cost or something. Let me see. What the hell does he need to make that happen? It's not here. Is it here? Summon Darkness. He needs... No, he only needs 20 MP. So I'm not really sure why he's been so reserved about using it, but... Don't know, don't care. I'm just gonna keep on popping this guy and making stuff happen. Thankfully, that basic crossbow got a upgrade a little while ago, so it definitely hurts pretty good these days. I mean, it's definitely still kind of dinky damage compared to some other things, but still, it's doing all right. It's doing well enough to be considered decent. Just punch this guy in the back of the head, and now he's one hit away from death, and now we just kind of deal with as many zombies as we can, try to exercise as many as we can, see if any of them potentially have any interesting drops, and then just kind of carry on, I guess. The only reason I'm even doing that whatsoever is, for some reason, I vaguely recall there being some patch note or something saying that it's one of the spawned-in zombies that has an additional drop. And yes, again, I really should just go and check. But also I'm not going to, so, you know. Otherwise, just skip to the end, and then we'll find out for sure. Anyway, Hammer. Hammer, good. Ghost is dead. And then we do last rites, and then we do some healing, and then they do some shooting, and then people barely survive. We just kind of keep on doing this, and hopefully one of the ones that spawns ends up dropping some other arcana. I guess it's just rebuild. I'm really not sure. I really definitely should have checked this beforehand. Anyway, that one's gone. We get a bit of a dexterity thingy out of that, and I guess we just pop this guy. You know what? Actually, new plan. We're just going to finish off Unkillable Soldier Man, and then we're just going to call it good enough. Because we got what I wanted. There's really no sense in dragging this out any further. If there's another drop, there's another drop. Otherwise, whatever. You know, not the end of the world. There we go. Sun Spear goes pew. See, I'm going ahead and using this thing here because there was a joke that I can't ever complete the game without ever using a spear. I'm still using a spear even when I'm not using a spear. And apparently there's now some kind of community freak out over wanting additional spear categories, which is just hilarious. I love that. I don't know where that came from, but I'm just glad that it's a thing. Anyway, they're gonna do the ghosties and the shooties. Come on. Let's go ahead and get this done already. They do more decays, but man oh man, decay is so frickin' good. Why am I not running it? I don't know, I probably should. Unintentional rhyme, but we'll pretend it was intentional. Feels pretty good if it was. A little bit of a top-up on Denim. Go ahead and Axify you, and we'll be very, very satisfied if this guy happens to be the guy that drops the thing. Because I think he's the only original party member left, so You know, I think it has to be the original party guys. But I don't know. I really have absolutely no idea, so... Whatever it is, it is. Can you reach this guy? Because I'd like you to do a double turn here, where you take that one out, and then you try to steal from Nibith one more time, just in case? Like, just on the very off chance that maybe it's also here, or maybe we had to go steal it from the ghosts, or maybe we have to go steal it from... Oh, dude, you know what? There should absolutely... Oh, man, I need to go mention this to Rakes in case it's not a thing already, but if it's not a thing already, you need to be able to steal some necromancy from Dagon. Like, that dude had necromancy originally, so... You know, bit of a thing. Actually, that's his last unit. We actually might be able to exercise all of them. Alright, well, I guess we can confirm it then. Perfect. I mean, if that's all he's gonna do, then yeah, beautiful. Okay, so, we have our soldier guy over there. I'm gonna have Kashua actually sack herself in order to get him back on his feet, because this should be the last rights that we need. Because you can't have your guest units sack themselves, which is pretty good, in order to get others back on their feet. It's a pretty handy trick. So you go over here, you do the lifeline, and then they're all like, "Hello, Raisin Bran, get on your little footers, because there's work to be done." And then he gets up on his feet, he's like, "Hey, I heard there was work to be done. I heard you need something axed." And then he axed things, and it was good of him. He was a good employee. Alright, they're gonna take some shots. Beautiful. Actually, that might be the other ghost up there. I don't know. Alright. So, that guy's here. I don't think you can punch down on him, can you? You can! Perfect. You punch down on you. You go ahead and healify this man. That kind of thing. Let's see. I'd like to see this one gone. So just go ahead and pop them real quick. That is a lot of health on you. Or a lot of defense, I should say. And then, this would be so much easier with overheads. It definitely makes so much more sense to come back here later. Alright. So, Ghost is here. I would like Ghost to be not here. There we go. Ghost is gone. Then we exercise Ghost. And then we see if he's actually completely out of his stuff. Are you completely out of your stuff? Can we just lock you away in a little corner and not talk to you again? Is that a possibility? I don't know. Anyway, let's go collect this. It's gonna be a little bit irritating if there's, like, one dude left at the end of all this. It's like, oh, just the one guy survived, and that was the one guy with the item. Okay, let's take some warbow shots up here. Probably a bit risky given her health situation, but she dodged it anyway. As you do. Seems like we can rely on her to do that. Alright, steal from you. Get nothing. That's alright. That was my goal the whole time. You just didn't know that. It's just my little secret, and that was the goal. I was intending to find nothing. We wanted Pocket Lint. What about Soldier Man? Did he drop anything? I mean, no, but that is going to save us a little bit of money, I guess. There's Decay Ghost coming back with a frickin' vengeance. Man, Decay Ghost is scary. Decay Ghost is very real and can very much hurt you. But yeah, so as far as Nebith is concerned, basically his limitation on how many units he can bring into the fight is based on how many are on the like spawn table, from what I understand. If there just aren't any more units in the roster, then the game just has nothing for him to load with it. So this is that's just kind of the end of that. Anyway, let's go ahead and see about dealing with those. Nobis, you want to axe this guy real quick? And then we'll have him go deal with the ones up top there. Pop. And that went great. Beautiful. You're doing a great job, Canopus. Keep on it. As long as the ghost is gone, what are you going to do? Tremendous shot? How terrifying are you? Mildly. He's mildly terrifying. But thankfully, Canopus should be able to just completely recover out of that. He will financially recover from this decision next week. So let's get some Sun Spear on that ghost with the really high defense, apparently. What's the deal with that ghost? Why are you so defensive all of a sudden? Well, I mean, he's resistant. He's a ghost, of course, but I guess it's just plain resistance in his case. Alright, anyway, so we're gonna see, looks like just magic spam out of Nibith at this point. As long as he stays stunned, we're relatively safe. As long as I get the archer out of here, start having her work on that ghost. As long as we can survive just a little bit longer, we shouldn't be too threatened. Because there's only so much that Nibith can realistically do at this point. Like, at any point we can just turn around and pop him. That's what the point was of this setup. Alright. So first off, can you finish off the ghost from here? Do you have a trick shot on him? Yes. Yes, you do. Beautiful. So that's them gone. What about you? You want to steal something from this guy? Just a warrior mark? Okay. Please miss, if you could. That is not a miss. That's a bit rude, but understandable, I guess. Alright, you work on this man right here. I'll get one more antidote out of the pocket here. Thankfully, we brought quite a few. You can probably see why I stocked up so much before this fight. There's a lot of things you want to prepare for. So that's exactly what we did. You go help deal with this man right over here, and you should have a Zenowine, which should... do you have a Zenowine? You don't. Nah. Alright, whatever. Let's go double health restore then. And then after that, we just need to get our cleric going ahead and getting our... Actually, no, wait. I need you to get the other cleric back, because you're basically doing nothing at this point. So let's go ahead and use you to get our cleric back. There we are. Then we need to have one of our healers go and exercise that ghost up there. This one's going to be the one dedicated to healing, because she's only going to have a little bit of MP. Ideally, Donalto survives this. He doesn't actually... Alright, well, you're going to have enough to survive maybe one more attack, as long as that poison's out of your system. So we'll get that done. We're probably going to have to pile everybody in to go deal with the skeleton, but for now everyone moves over this way. You pop the skeleton if you don't mind. I love how this went from tiny guide to, like, hour-long frickin' endless struggle. Alright, get Exorcism, and he's one tile away. What an absolute tease! Okay. There we go, that's that there. Could probably use a little bit of an MP card type situation. Alright, that's a problem. Kind of. That's a problem, definitely. Oh, survives with 1 health. Nice. Thank you, AI shield thing. Which, yeah, by the way, just... I always feel like I have to point it out, but all y'all folks that kept writing comments over, like, oh, Reborn made the AI stupid because they used their shields. The AI always did that crap. They're saving time. It's a function they always had. That's why that guy just went for his shield instead of his weapon. His weapon definitely would have killed. The shield predicted that it would kill, but it didn't. But, yeah. Anyway, so, I'm going to go ahead and fire back. Finally, the archer ends up not rolling her lucky rolls. But that's fine. We're just about done here. Let's see. Thank you for your unlikely hit there. We're definitely rolling the odds here. Not really meaning to, but this seems like it's going to be the fastest approach. Here. Just go for one more. Didn't get one more. Bit of a shame. You need to roll back here and get this one exercised, and then we have... You can't. Alright. Get Canopus, or not Canopus, but get Donalto patched up for one more round, and then that's all we need. We get those 3 units down, 3 exorcisms, and then we're out of here. One more Sun Spear. We'll see him gone, so we no longer have to worry about any more arrows. And then we'll also go ahead and get that exorcism finally done on this one. And then finally, we'll find out whether there's actually any additional drops here. We probably don't want to heal him. We want to exorcise him. I'm actually kind of glad that the game said no there. But there we go. Get the exorcism done. There we are. And get you over here. Should be only 1 or 2 more hits to see this one taken care of. Then one more turn from each of the healers there. I don't think we're going to need to use any more lifelines. Worst case scenario, they take an injury, whatever. That's what injuries are there for. Oh, hey, look, Nibith finally remembered he can heal. It's like, I'm no longer threatened by an archer. I can take a turn to heal. This works like Dark Souls, right? I mean, how wrong he was, because we're just going to go throw stuff at him now. Like, hello, buddy. Have a rock. We're not going to do too much damage with this rock, but one day we'll revisit the throwing rock only run for one vision. And it'll be very, very tedious and annoying, and nobody will watch it, and it'll take forever to make, but dang it, it'll happen. Alright, well, that's just a card. That's disappointing. It's just plain disappointment in its optimized form. How you want to do the Sun Spear? Just pop the dude, receive the points. Unfortunately, Archer's not gonna get her turn right now, on account of the whole being knocked out thing. Being unconscious generally doesn't help much with those kinds of situations, but sometimes they do, you know? Okie dokie. And get this one healed, please. I kind of see. Here's the thing. I kind of wish Exorcism worked a little bit like Heaven Judge or later on Starfall. Like it just did 5 damage or something. Just it always feels so weird when they're just barely holding on by a tiny bit of health, and it's just like just give them that tiny little bit. Just give them that tiny bit, you know? They're so close. Just let them do it. Just let them exercise with their 5 health. It always feels like it should be able to. I know that's Starfall's job, but, like, it always feels like they should be able to, you know? Alright, let's just axe this guy real quick like, oh, there we go. Got the crit, got the breach. Can we get the exorcism and call it a day now, please? There we go. We do the exorcism, and then he's gone. And he didn't drop a bag. That was completely pointless. Okay, whatever. Let's just wrap this crap up. You probably can't make this shot. I'm going to have you try it anyway. Is it a stupid idea? You're dang right it is. Way to go. Nice miss. Nice miss. Nice going, champ. Canopus, would you like to go hit the guy? Because I don't want to risk any more injuries. Maybe not with that. Maybe use a real weapon. And you're going to stumble. How many stumbles is that, man? How many stumbles is that? And also, is he targeting himself? What the hell? That's certainly a thing. Okay, whatever. Kind of a bit of an odd one, but alright. Do you have Innervate? Just Innervate this guy already. Like, he's apparently just refusing to move ever. He's got the worst case of mildly stunned you've ever seen. Okay, then do that. You get knocked out. This is just kind of a little bit awkward right now. Alright, let's go ahead and cleanse you. Nibith has boss immunity from poison, I'm pretty certain in this case. It's actually interesting. They took poison immunity away from a lot of bosses in Reborn. But anyway, now that finally he can take his turn, I was 90% expecting that would just get blocked. Alright, so there you go. Even at minimum level, you can accomplish everything from here. Are there any additional things? Like, did we get anything extra? Not really. But that's how you get a hold of the thingamajig, the Necromancer. So now we do the obvious thing. We go over here, go over to Mr. Donalto, and we switch him over to a Necromancer, as you should. There we go. It just seems appropriate. He has learned how good that guy was. Like, man, my holy stuff was pretty dinky in my hands there, but I don't know. That dude, he pulled off some stuff. He was doing pretty good. Ooh, wait a frickin' second. Hold on. Timeout, timeout, timeout. I never realized Vartan actually can use Solidify at this point. Okay, in that case, Ice Magic for you. I know, we came here to talk about the Necromancer. We're going to talk about Vartan abilities now. I totally forgot that Vartan got access to support stuff. Anyway, frickin' that. Forever. So there you go. Get some resist ice, get some permanent resilience on there. Pretty handy in his hands. Okay, back to necromancy type of stuff. So yeah, Necromancer in this version is like they get access to crossbows. They have a unique finisher. If we go ahead and put on crossbows, and we'll put on some other stuff later. They come with Animate Dead, which we don't really need right now. They can also get Phantom units to your team. So that's probably what you want to really get them for at this point. But yeah, you can also get additional magic schools on them, namely, you know, Dark and Necromancy, as you do. So we'll pop them suckers on there and give them additional stuff as we go along. Dark Magic Necromancy, they're a fun little caster type of deal. But if we go over to their finishing moves, they get Ogre, which will be a fairly cheap 20 TP Wither effect with a crossbow. So basically, if you have anything that's got really high health, you hit this with the Necromancer bolt, and their health goes pretty bye-bye, is kind of the general shtick there. Okay, then we're going to go over here, we're going to go get our monies. Go ahead and get paid. And we're going to go buy some spells for the dude, because then we can immediately go over here. We buy some darky type spells here. And what do we got for Necro? We can get Decay, which absolutely. We can Drain Heart, absolutely. Charge, absolutely. Palsy Skein, absolutely. And Slow. Once again with the absolutely. So, it's a great upgrade at this point in the game. Unlike PSP, they get so many options to potentially play with at this point. So yeah, that's just kind of the deal here. It's a very fun upgrade this early on. Lets you get access to a lot of this stuff way earlier than you normally would. And as far as their Necromancy is concerned, there is another one in Chapter 1 somewhere. Dang it. It's going to be in the One Vision resource. I'm going to include a link to that. Again, I probably should have just looked that up, but you know how these things go. Anyway, so just from those first two alone, we got Rebuild, which will get rid of all debuffs from a single undead unit and give it full health, which is pretty darn solid. And additionally, will turn a single... Basically, Banish will give him his Exorcism that's a little bit cheaper. Actually, I think it's the same cost as the Holy One at this point. Anyway, but yeah, Rebuild, if you combine him with any zombie that you can recruit early on, it'll give you a lot of good potential stuff. So earliest next zombie that you can get at this point, seeing as you need to beat Nibith in order to get this, is going to be in Farampa Wildwood, where you've got a absolute ton of zombies that are available, and especially the zombie beasts are really handy with Rebuild, because, big bulk, so there's that. But anyways, thank you guys for stopping by. I know this was a bit longer than it was expected to be, but that's kind of vaguely how this stuff goes. Y'all have yourselves a good one, and take care.